Akari and I went out on patrol again today. We walked around town looking for whatever clues we could find and searched through a few places, like abandoned buildings or rundown houses the fake Ura would likely use as a hideout. It was a modest, straightforward job, but it was fine so long as I could be with Akari. I'd never get sick of it either.
今日も途中で森に寄りましょう。もう少しで物にできそうな感じがするの。
Sure, we've got this. Akari nodded firmly and smiled sweetly up at me. Was it just my imagination, or had the way Akari smiled kind of changed recently? It was like it had gotten softer than before, or more genuine. This just might be Akari's au naturel state.
そこ。後ろ。木の上にいるのは鳥よね。ケイスケはそっち。
To start things off for the day, we did a review of last time. Astonishingly, Akari seemed to have gotten the hang of everything we'd done up until that point. I had to use a series of dirty looks as a catalyst before, but she was making incredible progress in such a short amount of time. I'm surprised. You're nailing it almost every time. Impressive.
そっかな。
You've gotten so much better. I knew you could do it.
きっかけをつかめたらなんか感覚でわかるようになった感じがするの。じっと誰かに見られてると見られてるあたりがチリチリするような感じで。
Yup, that's the feeling. Don't forget the sensation. That was the moment. That tingling sensation on the nape of my neck. Someone was watching. Akari must have noticed as well. She gazed at me with a serious look. I discreetly held up 3 fingers to signal to Akari. Then I counted on my fingers. 3, 2, 1. Who is it? It's Kureha. Here we go. Don't fall behind. Akari and I rushed off in the direction of those sounds, but the presence had already faded into the distance. It hadn't been a bird or cat, as there was no trace of wings flapping in the wind or disgruntled mewing.
さっきの気のせいじゃないわよね。
Yeah, look at the ground over here.
これって足跡？
Yeah, the shoe size is quite small, most likely a woman's. An extremely short one. There are indents by the toe marks. She must have jumped up and ran somewhere.
じゃあまだこの近くに。
Akari looked around in a daze. The trees gently rustled in the wind and eventually grew silent. I put my 5 senses to work and searched the area, but came up short. No good. They've completely concealed themselves. Or maybe they've already put some distance between us.
ケイスケでもわからないの？
Unfortunately.
だったら辺りをくまなく探しましょう。せめて手がかりだけでも手に入れないと。
Agreed. Afterward, Akari and I split up and scoured the area. I investigated using the pursuit techniques Grandpa had instilled in me, but the only reminiscent footprints were the ones we found earlier. The culprit had left, no other clues in their wake. Anyone walking on soft soil would absolutely leave a footprint or 2 behind. Pushing through a thicket while avoiding drawing attention should mean they would leave some traces on the vegetation, but...
ケイスケ、何か見つかった？
Nothing aside from those first footprints. What's going on?
そんな、こんなに探しても何もないなんて。
They either carefully erased their footprints, walked extraordinarily cautiously, or maybe even swung from the trees like a monkey.
そんな忍者じゃあるまいし。
But aren't we dealing with a Tsuchigumo? Wouldn't they be capable of that much?
確かに。
In reality, that much would be child's play for me or Grandpa. It wouldn't be all that surprising if there were someone else around capable of the same. Anyhow, no ordinary girl would have this skill set, which means...
偽裏
Yeah, but since it's the middle of the afternoon, it didn't seem like she could go to where Kana or Otome senpai are.
でもどうして私たちの後をつけてるのかしら
Isn't she tracking our movements to get her hands on information about the mystic treasures? Plus, you've got a weak-looking psychic beside you. If she were after you, this would be the best spot.
確かにケイスケは普通の学生だし、そう見えるかもしれない。でも私はケイスケが弱そうだなんて思わない。
Huh?
ケイスケがいなかったら偽裏に気づくことなんてなかった。感情が高ぶったままなんかポカやらかしてたと思うもの。
I see. It's an honor to hear you say that.
うん。でもね、ケイスケ、あいつが私たちを狙ってるならこれ以上は危険だわ。これから何があるかわからないのに、これ以上ケイスケを危険にさらせないよ。
That's all the more reason you should bring me with you, if you ask me.
どうして？
If I went around, wouldn't the fake Buddha stop targeting you? We are so close to finally getting our hands on a lead too.
それはそうかもしれないけど。
In that case, we really should use me as a lure. I'm not opposed at all.
いや、そんなこと絶対できない。
Akari said that while shaking her head back and forth. Honestly, what a softie our klutzy samurai was. It brought a wry smile to my lips. Akari, you're going to avenge your old man, right?
どうしてそれを？
I heard that your dad passed away. Considering your attitude, I thought that might be the case. I kept the details Kana had told me to myself. Things would only get complicated if I mentioned her name now.
そう。土雲に、あいつらに私のお父さんは殺されたの。だからその残党が残っているなら、絶対私の手で捕まえてやりたい。でもそれは私のわがまま。そんなことに大事な友達を巻き込めないわ。
Would that really be such a bad thing? I'm telling you, it's fine.
ダメよ。
Part of it's that Kana and the others asked me, but you're a precious friend to me too. My friend is giving it everything she's got. Standing and watching from the sidelines isn't my style. Let a guy show off a little.
でも
I'll obviously keep my promise. If things get dicey, then I'll bail. I don't plan on dying or anything.
もうバカね。進んで危険なことしたいなんてほんとバカ。
After saying that under her breath, Akari hung her head and pondered for a brief moment. Then she lifted her head and looked at me with determination.
ケイスケ、言ってくれたわよね。私のこと大事な友達だって。
Yeah.
私も同じよ。あなたのこと本当に大事な友達だって思ってる。
That serious tone and straightforward gaze, what she said made me truly happy. But given where this was leading, would she turn me down? What should I say if she did? Just as I started to run those thoughts through my mind.
だからあなたは私が守る。どんなことがあっても。
Oh. I got an unexpected answer. Could this mean?
さっきみたいに偽裏の気配に気づけたのはケイスケのおかげよ。それだけじゃない。私一人じゃパトロールしても何も収穫がなかったかもしれない。本当は危ないから遠ざけたいところだけど、私一人じゃどうもこれ以上は無理みたいだから。
Akari.
だからケイスケ、お願い、私に付き合って。あなたは私が必ず守るから。
Ahaha, isn't that supposed to be my line?
いいじゃない、女の子が言ったって。それに私は日本一の桃太郎侍の子孫なんだから。決めるときは決めるのよ。
Well, you're a klutzy samurai anyway.
ここでそれを言う？
I'm saying it because it's now. You work hard at the front, and if you get careless, I'll support you from the rear. Yeah, we really do make a great team, don't we?
そうかもね。
Right? Ha 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 ha. We cracked up and laughed at each other for a short while. Alright, let's keep doing our best to eradicate the fake Ura partner. I held out a hand and Akari gripped it tightly.
改めてよろしくね、ケイスケ。
Akari replied with a full-fledged smile. It felt like my social link to Akari had deepened. It gave me this ticklish feeling deep down inside. Is this supposed to be a Persona reference? Now then, we should tell the others about the fake Ura sighting properly this time.
そうだった。
Ha! Klatzi, Klatzi!
ケイスケの意地悪。
Despite adorably puffing up her cheeks, Akari did get in touch with Kana and the others. A week had passed since Akari and I first encountered the fake Ura while out on patrol. We immediately briefed Kana and the others, as well as the Sakagami ninjas, following the incident, but had not sensed anything since. Aoi was still in a sour mood, so I heard her out to try and pacify her, but it seemed she hadn't caught wind of anything especially odd other than romantic rumors about Akari and me. That being the case, we all gathered and held a debriefing. Even Tamaiko-sensei, who regularly skipped the committee meetings, was in attendance today. So, that's roughly what's been going on our end. What about the rest of you?
私と兄様も成果なしです。前と同じく、こちらにも情報は入っていませんね。私たちの方も先週それらしい遭遇が2回あっただけだったわ。やっぱりケイスケを連れて歩いたのが狙われた理由なのかしら。
その意見には同意する。前にも言っただろう。素人など連れていても足手まといにしかならないと。
先生、ケイスケは足手まといなんかじゃありません。
Oh, Akari was backing me up?
だが所詮は一般人。戦力には入らん。
それでもケイスケは私をちゃんとサポートしてくれています。ケイスケがいなかったら偽裏の気配に気づくことすらできなかったんですよ。
しかしだな。
お兄様。
まあ少しは役に立っているか。吉備宮をうまくフォローしているようだしな。
You changed your tone quickly. As usual, this guy was a softie when it came to his sister.
一般人といえば浦部妹や住吉が狙われた痕跡はないのか。
はい、それはありません。警備の忍者さんたちもこれといって妙なことは目撃していないと言っています。
となると唯一の手がかりはあかりたちが見たという人影だけか。
それでこれからどうするんだ、吉備宮。
そうですね。
A serious expression appeared on Akari's face as she put her hand to her chin. Could she be considering the option of using me as a lure as well? What if I just keep going on patrol with Akari? If we do that, the fake Ura might get careless and show herself.
それはもう遅いと思うわ。あれから1週間経っても全く動きを見せないし、多分素人のはずのケイスケが予想以上の反応をしたからよ。先に気配に気づいたのはケイスケだったし。それだと操作は振り出しに戻っちゃうね。唯一の突破口もこれで塞がっちゃうし。
Just as Kana said, we were at a dead end. Everyone fell silent. If there was something we could do other than patrol, that would be... I know! Why don't we search for mystic treasures we haven't fully located one more time? They must be out there, right? Like the tea kettle thing.
成果は期待できないだろう。
Why?
島にある怪しい物品などは 御三家で積極的に回収しています。うちも骨董品屋を経営して古い品物などを買い取っています。その中から秘宝が見つかることもありますが、ごく稀です。茶釜のようなケースは数年に一度あるかないかのことですから。
Meaning, we'd have to sit on our hands even longer than if we just went out on patrol.
はい。所在の明らかになってない秘宝。
What's up, Akari?
なんでもないわ。それより今後の動きなんだけど、引き続き忍者部隊にはパトロールと乙女先輩の警護をお願いするわ。プレッシャーをかけ続けましょう。
分かった。
何か異常があったら報告しますね。カナたちは念のため回収した骨董品を改めて調べてみてくれる？それと町の人たちに聞き込みをお願い。お年寄りの話を中心に聞いてみて。
わかった、任せてくれ。
それで私とケイスケはちょっと調べ物に当たってみるわ。調べ物？まあ調べるだけ無駄骨のような気がするんだけど、何か分かったら報告するわね。以上。質問は？
Taking everyone's smiles and silence as affirmation, Akari nodded to herself.
じゃあ今日は解散しましょう。お疲れ様。
Then, at that very moment when Akari was about to wrap things up, Akari was the first to leap at the door and fling it open, and standing there was...
クレハ？
どうした住吉、こんなところで何をしている？
別に委員会室で勉強しようとしたら入るに入れない雰囲気だったから待っていただけだ。そっか、ごめんね。今ちょっと立て込んだ話をしてて。お話は終わりましたから、もう入ってきてもいいですよ。
At Utame-senpai's prompting, Kureha waltzed into the room with her usual curt attitude.
それじゃあ私たちは予定通りに。
お互い幸運を祈ろう。
では私は部活へ行きますね。
Say hi to Aoi for me.
はい、それでは。
乙女、カバンを持とう。水着の入ったバッグもよこせ。
Tamahiko sat while following after Utame-senpai rather naturally. Yeah, I guess he was also the swim club's advisor, but I got the feeling his intentions were anything but pure.
さてと、それじゃあこっちは調べ物を始めましょうか。ねえケイスケ、あなたのお父さんって考古学者だったわよね。古文書とか詳しい？読める？
Yeah, he probably could as long as he has a dictionary.
じゃあ読んでほしい資料を持ってくるから手伝って。
That's fine, but what are we investigating?
まずは見てほしいものがあるの。ちょっと待ってて。
With that said, Akari took a document from the bookshelf on the island's collected legends and opened it in front of me. Then she flipped through the pages and pointed to a certain passage.
ほら、ここ見て。
What do we have here? Mystic treasures bestowed by the heavenly maiden, protected by thy 3 servants, slumbering in the depths of darkness. This book seemed to be a collection of the legends passed down on this island. This was pretty old, wasn't it? This is kind of like a place you would hide a treasure in an RPG.
でしょ？実は子供の頃、実家で似たような文を読んだことがあるの。吉備津宮の屋敷の蔵に忍び込んで遊んでたら、そこに古い鏡があってね、磨いてみたら新品みたいにキラキラ光ったの。それが嬉しくて光に当ててみたら壁に文字が浮かび上がったってわけ。
A mirror that revealed letters when light was shone upon it. A magic mirror, huh? Rough patches along the mirror surface, too faint to be seen by the naked eye, could change the angle of reflected light and form letters. And those were similar to what's written here?
ええ、確か三つ子岩に守られしその宝、竜の腹渡にて光を喰らう、祖は王の証だったかな。
Yeah, 3 servants, triplet stones. Yeah, they're connected by the same verse about protecting something, huh?
でしょ？他にもいくつかパターンの違う文章があちこちの資料に残ってるの。みんな単なる言い伝えって扱いだけど、あの鏡は実家の蔵にガラクタと一緒に放り込まれてた。あれが魔境だったことは多分私しか気づいてないはず。だとすれば未確認の秘宝のありかの手がかりになるんじゃないかと思って。
A striking resemblance between legends that had been distorted through time and writing inscribed into a magic mirror. That certainly did improve the credibility of the legend itself, but... it is pretty interesting, but that doesn't mean it'll amount to indicating where the forgotten mystic treasures are located, does it?
分かってる。どちらかというとダメでもともとって感じの調べ物だからね。だからみんなにも内緒にしておきたかったの。小さい頃の記憶だから曖昧だし、変に期待持たせたくなかったから。
Makes sense to me, but you still can't help but be curious.
そういうこと。そんなわけで解読付き合ってくれる？
Sure, if that's what you need, count me in. I'm your partner, so I'll join you, no matter what it is.
ありがとう。それじゃ早速始めましょうか。
So, where do we start looking?
まずこの文の解析からね。とりあえず書き出してみましょうか。
You've got such pretty handwriting.
ありがとう。習字にペン字、いろいろやらされたおかげね。とりあえず分かりやすそうな三つ子岩からいきましょう。これってなんか場所っぽいわよね。
Does it remind you of any specific location?
三つ子岩か。聞いたことないわね。
You're an island native and you don't know? In that case, why don't we try scrounging up an old map of the island? Maybe a landmark or something was renamed before you born. Before you were born?
そうね。あと岩にまつわる伝承なんかも調べてみるといいかも。
It would, but if it comes to that, we may need to do a general overview of all the books here. Glancing over at the meandering lineup of books was enough to make you semi-dizzy.
しょうがないわ。千里の道も一歩からよ。
Okay, let's leave reading all that for another time. What does it mean by consume the light upon the dragon's bowels?
さっぱりね。
That shall be the sign of the king?
宝そのもののことを指しているっぽいけど。
If it's the sign of the king, maybe it's a crown or something.
それは西洋的発想だな。日本で王の証といえば三種の神器じゃないか。剣、勾玉、鏡とか。
Oh, I see. Kureha, why are you here?
バカを言うな。さっきからいたぞ。あれか、私の背が小さいから気づかなかったとかそういうオチか。そうなんだな。
Sorry, we just didn't really notice you in general. Come to think of it, she had turned up at the committee room around the time the meeting ended, and I hadn't seen her leave immediately afterward.
お前たちは何をやっているんだ？
ああ、この島にある秘宝についてちょっと気になることがあってね。
そうか。な、人手がいるなら手伝ってやらんでもないぞ。なんだ、何を驚いている。私も一応委員会の一員だぞ。遺跡やら秘宝やらに興味があるんだ。
I guess you would be, yeah. Come to think of it, this girl had knocked on the committee door herself. A sharp tongue had made me forget, but she was interested in historical sites. A real archaeology gal.
クレハは古文書とか読んだ経験あるの？
あるわけないだろう。そういうのは普通大学に入ってから読むものだ。
じゃあ島の地図が載ってる本を片っ端から選んで積み上げといて。そうでないのは元の場所に戻しておいて。
わかった。
Hey now, are you sure about having Kureha help?
ええ、人手は大いに越したことはないもの。幸いクレハは御三家とは無関係だしね。
Well, alright, if you say so. Talk about massive progress. Akari of all people was proactively seeking other people's help. Anyhow, this was a good trend. I perused the books Kureha took out and distinguished whether they had any relevant materials or not. Anything that hit the mark, I handed to Akari to examine more closely for information. Since this phase was mostly intelligence gathering, we had collected a sizable assortment of old books, texts, and maps by the time we needed to head home for the day.
どうだったんだ？
ダメね。それっぽい資料はなし。
Ah, swing and a miss, huh?
まあ、ダメ元でやってるんだもの。気長に行きましょう。
I guess so.
それじゃあ明日は伝承の類を調べましょうか。
Sure, you've got it.
明日も付き合ってもいい。バイトまで少しは時間もあるしな。
助かるわ。
We quickly got our things together and left the committee room.
では、私はバイトへ行く。
Yeah, see ya.
また明日ね、クレハ。
I saw Kureha's tiny frame walk off, then spoke to Akari beside me. We're going on patrol now, right?
当然でしょ。
Alright. Akari was smiling sweetly at me as we walked side by side down the hall. When school ended, Akari, Kureha and I practically turned the bookshelves inside out, looking through documents. It came as no surprise that it took some time, mostly due to the immense quantity of books, but a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Our only choice was to keep tirelessly plugging away. Phew, this is exhausting. Staying physically active is more my style. I stretched my arms over my head and looked up toward the sky. The waning rays of sunlight were dyeing the clouds a dark shade of red.
あら、でも文献読むの結構早いじゃない。やっぱりお父さんがそういう仕事をしてるから？
I guess so. Wow though, you remembered what I told you about my dad?
考古学者がお父さんなんて印象的じゃない。記憶に残るわよ。
Really? I would think having Momotaro as an ancestor would stick in someone's mind way more.
もう、そういう意地悪言わないの。
Sorry. Anyway, Akari was really great at delegating and managing people. It seemed to be the case when assigning responsibilities within the three great families, as well as during our investigation, but she was dishing out one task after another after she learned I could read the texts. Since Kureha couldn't read the reference materials, she assigned routine tasks to her, and Akari further scrutinized the information we'd collected. No wasted effort. Could this be another fruit of the Kibitsumiya family's strict upbringing? But, of course, I couldn't actually ask.
クレハもありがとう。おかげで今日も下校時間までになんとか終わらせられたわ。
気にするな。遺跡には興味があったし。物はついでだ。
ついで？
言っただろ。遺跡に興味があると、そのついでだ。
でも助かったわ。ありがとね。
Kureha must not have been used to getting compliments, as she cutely whiffed her head to the side. Akari seemed to agree. We faced each other and held back a laugh. We said goodbye to Kureha, who was on her way to work, and went out on our daily patrols. Later, we found ourselves in front of the women's dorm. This timing. It couldn't be. Hello?
またまたあかりさんとラブラブ下校なのお兄ちゃん。
Owie! Are you spying on us again?
寮の前でイチャイチャしてれば嫌でも見えるよ聞こえるよ。
We weren't flirting. It's work. Work!
絶対下心もあるよね。
Well, I do think there are some perks to it.
お兄ちゃんの正直なところは美徳だよね。私好きだな。
Right?
それじゃあせいぜいお仕事頑張ってね。
Oh, wait, Aoi, there's something I'd like to ask you.
何？
Do you happen to know anything about my oh-so-kind sister who makes my lunch and dinner? She seems to be missing.
お兄ちゃんのみそぎが済むまで帰ってこないと思うよ。つーん。
What do you mean, purification ceremony? What did I do? She hung up on me without giving me a chance.
よくわからないけど大変みたいね。
You shouldn't assume your parents and siblings will be around forever.
はい？
I meant you should treasure your parents and siblings.
まあまあね。
Ha, I'm happy she cares about me so much, but it's a little odd how clingy she is.
でも葵ちゃんがちょっと羨ましいかな。
Why?
なんだかんだでケイスケっていいお兄ちゃんだと思うから。
You think so?
私もケイスケみたいなお兄ちゃんなら欲しいな。
Huh.
なんでもない。
Akari sure was making a lot of forward-sounding comments like that lately. I guess it was fine. Besides, she always looked super adorable when she got all shy like that.
それにしても大変ね。お弁当は作ってあげられるけど晩ご飯は作りに行ってあげるわけにもいかないしね。
That's too bad. I'd welcome your cooking any day, any time.
そう？
Yeah, your food always tastes great.
ありがとう。
Akari was positively adorable when she fidgeted in place like that. Relatives aside, women were fundamentally prohibited from entering the men's dorms at night time. Just hearing Akari say that she'd like to make me dinner made my stomach growl. Maybe it was less hunger and more that she was giving me butterflies? I'd love to have a sister like you too, Akari. Mine's a little moody. As they say, honesty is the best policy.
葵ちゃんは十分素直だと思うけど私も素直なのかな。
Yeah, I think you are right now anyway.
そっか。
After an impish giggle, Akari spun around in place. Her long black hair and the frills of her skirt danced in midair, and Akari's sweet aroma caused my heart to skip a beat.
とりあえず今後ともお昼は任せて。しばらくは面倒見てあげる。
Seriously?
ケイスケって美味しい美味しいって言ってくれるから作りがいがあるし。そういうわけでまた明日ね。
Yeah. Akari shot me a smile and waved. I returned to the gesture and watched her walk inside the door. She seemed more sure of herself as of late. I wished a little bit of that sincerity would rub off on Aoi. Still, I was sure she'd understand if I talked to her. This could end up getting in the way of work, so I'd better suck up to her while I still could. In any event, what should I do for dinner? I was out of instant ramen, so maybe I could go rummage through any unsold lunches at the convenience store. Downtown at sunset, the delicious smells wafting through the air from all directions was borderline torture to my empty stomach. Aoi really needs to stop being so grumpy with me already. While I was busy mumbling the sort of line a hopeless husband might say after his wife had run out on him. Huh? Who's that? She kinda looks like Akari a little bit. Is that her mother? I noticed a beautiful woman walking toward me. She was gorgeous and mature, with long black hair that reached her waist. Wow. Wait, why was I getting googly eyes at some random lady? Was it because of Akari? No, no, no. That would be awful. I was going to get reported. I quickly looked away in a panic. When I heard her anguished sigh, I looked back toward her. Upon a close look, she looked unsteady and was staggering quite a bit as she walked. Once she drew closer, I noticed she had an oddly pained expression. Should I say something to her? What the? All of a sudden, the black-haired beauty flopped to the ground on the spot. Are you all right? Crap, I rushed over and lifted her up on reflex. Man, I couldn't get enough of the intoxicating fragrance she was wearing. The scent of perfume really did remind of mature ladies. Come on, this wasn't the time for that. Get a grip, me.
ごめんなさい。支えていただいてしまって。
Are you sure you are okay?
はい。ごめんなさい。最近ちょっと寝不足気味で。
Sleep deprivation is the enemy of health and beauty. Then again, I sometimes get wrapped up in making plastic models and stay up late too.
いけませんね。
Yeah, I know. Haha.
ありがとうございます。もう大丈夫ですから。
With some slight reluctance, I gently stepped away. Are you really okay?
ええ、平気です。
True, she wasn't staggering anymore, but she had this kind of transient feel to her. I was worried, more so than I probably should have been. Do you mind if I ask where you're going?
ええ、すぐそこの寮へ。
That was just a stone's throw away then. I considered walking with her if it was far away, but yeah, she'd think I was trying to pick her up if I pushed it that far. Better hold off. The dorm? Visiting your sister by any chance?
いえ、娘ですよ。
What? Daughter?
私何かおかしなことを言いましたか？
No, you just don't look old enough to have a kid.
まあ、最近の学生さんはお世辞も上手ね。
No, I mean it. I wouldn't lie.
ありがたく受け取っておきます。
I wasn't trying to flatter her, but better to drop the subject. You know, though, that smile of hers reminded me of someone. She suddenly looked in the direction of the women's dorm with a somewhat troubled look on her face. You're going to the dorm, right? Isn't there someone you wanted to see?
ええ、失礼します。はい、私です。はい。はい。ええ、その件は現状通りに。他に変わったことはありませんか？ええ。ええ。はい。わかりました。向かいます。準備をしておいてください。では。仕事が入ってしまいました。戻らなければ。
The dorm's right there, though.
仕事ですから。
I see.
では、お世話になりました。親切な学生さん。ちゃんと夜は眠らないといけませんよ。
Haha, understood. Please take care.
では、失礼いたします。ありがとうございました。
With that gorgeous bow, the beautiful lady left without me so much as learning her name. Her perfume's aroma lingered in the air behind her. Yeah, mature women like her were lovely. She reminds me of someone, but who?